Find your chart that says understanding your cervical spine. And see down at the bottom of that, it's got a picture of a vertebrae. And off vertebrae is that little bony process that sits on your spine. And off of it surrounds that spinal cord. And off of each one of those little vertebrae, a nerve comes off that spinal cord. And it goes to different areas of the body. Your head, your neck, your throat, your lungs, your heart, your stomach, your arms, your legs. Then those nerves all end up in your hands and your feet. So I've got another chart on there that shows where the nerves end, on that you can do a little therapy on it. But looking along that headline, see where you've got the little island marks in red? That's where you're out of place. Very easy to knock that spine out of place. If you had an accident, or if you've been hurt physically, or if you had done gymnastics or contact sports at all, had a fall, very easy to knock those vertebrae out of place, especially if the two big old muscles that go along each side of that spine, if they're not real strong, those vertebrae can come out of place. Oh, easy to get out of place when if you're using a computer. I call it the internet. I think you got it. Yeah, you got the internet. I used to read palms in the 1995, 96, 97, before the advent of the computer. And I didn't see people's necks out of place, but boy, since 2000s, since the advent of the computer, almost everybody around the whole world are stretched out of place right at the base of that neck, where they lean over those computers. It only takes a couple hours leaning over that computer and have your neck kind of get stressed out of place, the vertebrae in it. Find your chart now that says Chart of Effects of Spinal Misalignments. And see the little spine there on the left-hand side? Yes, that shows in your hand. That's what shows on that head and spine line. And then the next column is the name of the vertebrae. Your cervical, thoracic, and lumbar, your tailbone. The next column is the areas. That is the areas that the nerves go to that come off of each one of those vertebrae. The blood supply to the head, the scalp, the eyes, the cheeks, the ears, the nose, the thyroid, the heart, the lungs, the liver. They all have little nerves that come off that spinal cord. Then that last column is the effects. And that's the effects that you get if that vertebrae is turned out of place. Depression. See, you got that little depression line. Headaches, nervousness, anxiety, heart problems, lung problems, stomach troubles. So that on that spine where I've circled all those red areas, that's where your spine is out of place. Very easy to get out of place, and those nerves, the vertebrae will turn a little bit, and it'll pinch that nerve. And then the nerve goes out into the body, goes out, intermeshes with the muscles. Then when it gets a little pain signal in it, the muscle, the pain signal goes zit, 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 and intermeshes with that muscle. Then the muscle gets a muscle spasm, and it holds that vertebrae out of place. So it doesn't go back in until you get an adjustment, get it put back in, and then you got to keep that spine healthy. Now, I don't tell you all this information just because I'm a palm reader. I've got a master's degree in health education, and I'm an old school teacher. You can probably tell. And I was finishing up my master's degree in health ed when I was in my 40s, and I started to read these palmistry books at the same time I was finishing up my master's degree, and my gosh, it showed about all the health stuff that showed in your hand in the palmistry books. And then I found this old book that was written by a medical doctor, Dr. Eugene Scheiman, and he told how you could see the spine in that hand, in that middle line on the hand, and it all fit together so well. And so I'd go out and do readings and mark the charts. And some of the people would take their charts with them to the doctors and get an x-ray, and they just matched exactly with the charts in the hand. And so where I've got the little red islands marked in there, that's where you're out of place. Under the Jupiter, I don't think you're out the top two, the 1C, 2C. If so, you'd be good. Your depression line would be worse than it is right now. You are out right there in that 6C, though, that's run your finger across there, that's a depression line. You're out really bad right there in your 1T, 1 thoracic. Look on your little chart there. That is the nerves that go to your arms from the elbows down, including the hands, wrists, and fingertips, and your esophagus and your trachea. That 1T is the one that goes to your hands, and I think that's why you're getting so many darn lines in your hand, because you're way too young to have that many lines in your hands. Is because that 1T, 1 thoracic vertebrae, is out of place really bad. And that's, if you're leaning over the computer, that's doing it, the internet. And then you're out at the 2T, which is your heart nerves, and your 3T, which is your lungs. You've got a little start there in your lungs. I'll tell you about that in a minute. That it doesn't, the line doesn't come up very good. So you're out right all through there in the base of that neck. And then underneath that Saturn finger, that is your thoracic area. You're out a little bit right in the middle there. And Sun finger, that's your lumbar. You're out right there in that lumbar area. If you're out the top, it's gonna throw you out in the lower spine the opposite way to compensate.